When I got invited to speak tonight, after I got over the initial shock of being asked by Ken and Miss Beryl, his wife, I started thinking about what to say. And what do you say for about someone who you admire, who was like a father figure to you, somebody who you wanted to be like, and I started thinking, well, maybe I would say what Coach would say, right? Well, first of all, it'd be very short. Coach wouldn't have been here very long, and so I'm not going to take a lot of time. But I think Coach would have thanked his wife Beryl and his son Kevin for sitting in the wings and letting him do what he loved to do, for supporting him along the way and being there for all those years. Coach was a great high school coach. I don't know if it's in his bio or not, but Coach was named Louisiana Coach of the Year 5 times in Louisiana. He won 5 state championships and 16 district championships before he ever came here. And so his reputation preceded him before he ever set foot here. And his wife and his son sacrificed a lot for him to be able to do that and for him to be so impactful in so many people's lives, including mine. And so I think he'd want us to honor them tonight for those many years that they allowed him to do what Coach passed away in April of 2002 in the middle of track season, doing what he loved to do. And I think that it's a tribute to them that they let him be who he was. And then I think he would want to thank the athletes that played such a huge part and a huge role in all those years and the championships that we won. And I think he would want to thank them for running and jumping and throwing and competing the way that they competed for him and for the staff and for giving it everything they had. We had many of y'all remember, I'll be politically correct here, but many of y'all may remember that in the late 1980s and early 90s, you had a budget crisis. And this is hard to believe, but we only had scholarships and salaries funded. We had no money for equipment, no money for travel, no money for recruiting. We raised $85,000 a year to be able to do what we did. He never used it as an excuse. He just did it. He raised most of it himself. And in doing that, he allowed these athletes to be in an environment where champions were made. We had a reunion this year, and some of the athletes came and they saw what we have today, and they were looking around because some of them hadn't been around in 30 years, and they looked around and said, God, if we just had this, Coach. And I said, well, maybe if we had this, we wouldn't have been as good. Because y'all walked around with a big chip on y'all's shoulder. And y'all were mad at the world most of the time. And they ran their hearts out for him. They gave him everything he had. And so I think he would want to thank them for doing what they did and be a part of such an incredible time. And then I think he'd want to thank the staff. Those of us that worked it for him didn't think of him as a boss. We thought of him as a role model, as a father figure, as somebody who we could be like. We loved working for him. He was an incredible head coach because he let us do what we did best. He didn't micromanage us. He let us be and develop and make mistakes. And then he'd call us in occasionally, and we'd have the grandfatherly talk. And he would encourage us and guide us and direct us. And I think he'd want to thank us for that, for helping him, because we worked our butts off to make him proud. And then I think he'd want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for tonight, for honoring him, for, I'm going to tell you, an award that he probably would have said he didn't deserve. He was a very humble man, but under that grandfatherly veneer was an extremely competitive, hardworking, a man who loved to win, who pushed us hard, pushed his athletes, but at the same time had the respect of us all, and who we loved dearly.